Alan, this is Rick. I see that it's 12:15. Is Walt going to join us today?
Yes, sir. Walt is on the Zoom.
Okay, great. Well,
I am joined with you, Rick.
okay, thank you, Walt. Have we got enough people to start at this point?
I think so. Who is 482-4341?
That's Mark Carter.
All right, I got you down twice then, Mark.
Well,
Either way, we're ready to go. We got enough.
Okay, well, let's call the meeting to order. Here at 12:15 on November the 18th. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You should have gotten an email with the minutes from last month. Does anybody have any questions or modifications related to the minutes? Hearing nothing, we'll declare the minutes approved as written. The next item on the agenda is a zoning map amendment for 413 Weather Street. Who's got that one? Alan or Walt?
Unfortunately, y'all have me today.
Okay.
And let me just pull up the screen. Can everybody see that?
On 18/2021, yeah.
Yep, perfect. So this is for 413 Weather Street. As you can tell, this is near Buffalo Street, which runs there where the laser pointer is going, as well as Grover Street. There's the Bojangles, the fire station, Shelby Housing Authority, the hospital. It's a former church and funeral home, and the zoning for it is currently RO. It was zoned RO because RO allows for funeral homes in that zoning district. You can see everything around it is really zoned R6 residential, and there is some, what is neighborhood business near there. There's also a lot of RO towards the hospital, but that's mainly medical offices and other similar uses. The land use plan designates this area as mixed use, so that allows for a really wide range of uses. You can have anything from apartments, multifamily to commercial, retail, restaurants, those kinds of things. So the applicant is requesting general business 2 conditional zoning. This is for a crematorium. They are wanting to operate their crematorium out of this building. One of the proposals from the applicant is to provide a landscape buffer, as in our ordinance, around the property in order to kind of mitigate that impact on the neighboring residential folks. If the applicant does operate a funeral home, they are going to be required to install parking.
In addition to that, Alan, they'll have to update their conditional zoning to allow funeral home and figure out how to put in the proper parking.
Yeah, Walt is correct. This conditional zoning is just for a crematorium. So that would be the only use permitted there. And that's all I have. Do y'all have any questions for me?
I do.
Yes, sir.
I know that's the old Shiloh Baptist Church there. They plopping a crematorium right in the residential community. How about the ingress and egress? I mean, I'm looking at, you're going to be rolling ambulances in there with bodies. That's right across from McClooney's church over there. Used to be the old Cleveland High School, right? Right up the street.
Right. So right there where the laser is pointing is really the ingress and egress point for the building. There's a garage and some other things there. How they operate their business is, really up to them. But, we have to we have to look at the use itself, which is the crematorium, and if that's a good fit for the community.
And man, you got to remember the crematorium is just it. There is not be any services or other functions at that building with this particular zoning proposal.
That is correct. No services. It's just to operate the crematorium out of this building.
Does anybody know what that would entail? You got a furnace there? What, how's that going to be an impact on the community?
Yeah, Emmanuel, what they'll have to install a furnace, get a building permit for that, as well as put in the proper fire separations from that building and any other properties or other buildings near it. It basically is a furnace, and it will produce a small bit of smoke. There's not a great deal. It's not like a manufacturing plant where you see billows of smoke. But there will be a little bit of smoke in the air. We have several in town, and we've never really received any complaints about those.
Okay. Yeah, I know everybody else seems to be going to aqua instead of fire. And I see that on a billboard. Yeah. Well, I really don't know how that would impact for us being a neighbor. So,
But Walt, did I understand you to say that even if we recommend approval of this request, they've still got to submit plans for conditional use?
No, what they'll have to submit plans for is their building permit, Rick. If the zoning passes, they'll still have to get a building permit to install the furnace. It has to have, there'll probably be special gas run to it. They'll probably have to have sprinklers or other fire separation issues. So just because the zoning's approved doesn't mean they can move in tomorrow and start up the furnace.
Right. And this furnace would have to be separate from the existing building there?
No, many times they're put inside the building. You don't even know they're there. But if it is inside the building, the fire marshal as well as the building inspector will make sure it's all done properly.
Okay. Because it's hard to see if they were to build it separately, they'd have to tear down part of the existing building because there's just not much room there. But
Yes, sir. Yeah, and my understanding is from talking with the Griffins that they are planning to upfit the existing building. They want to use the existing building for the furnace. And your question about they had to do a conditional use again, the only way they would have to do a conditional zoning again is if they were to alter this if this were to pass this conditional zoning. So in this case, it's just for a crematorium. And if they wanted to come back and do a funeral home and services here, they would have to come back to the board in order to alter that.
if they wanted to start having funeral services there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, they
And
previously did. They previously did. I mean, I remember when it was the only funeral home that they had. You know, they moved out for a reason, I guess, to expand.
Well, that's a correct, Emmanuel, but has been gone for so long. It is no longer a non-conforming use and would have
Okay.
to be reapproved.
Yeah, okay. I think that they need to go to the industrial area myself. Anyway, I'll reserve my vote. Yeah, it plopped that right in the middle of, man, nothing but residents.
And Alan, you mentioned something about a buffer. Is there enough room there for a buffer?
On the back and the side, there's enough room for the smallest buffer that we allow. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, okay.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Do they not have to clear some kind of environmental permitting with the state?
My question exactly.
They very well may, Jeff. I don't know, but when they do, they send those permits to the city of Shelby to sign off on.
Yep.
Okay, so it's part of the clearance process.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting. So will they'll be their only crematorium? I mean, they're gonna service the one they got in South Carolina there? I mean, I know they got more than one location already.
There are two other crematoriums in town, Emmanuel. This will be the third one.
No, I mean for Genesis. That's what I'm saying.
I don't I don't know.
Okay, all right. I just thought that the traffic would, that would definitely impact the traffic if they service in South Carolina as well as North Carolina. That's all I was concerned about. I'm looking down on the view. It looked kind of compact and kind of pinch to me. I do know that church.
Mr. Sheriff, for the record, this is Andrea Fight. For the record, would you share where those other crematoriums, not where they're located, but the type of zoning those crematoriums have?
They are both a general business zoning.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Would anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Okay. Scott Bankhead has made the motion that it be approved.
I'll second it. Jim Martin.
Jim Martin provides the second. Is there any more discussion or any questions? Hearing none, Walt, I guess it's time to take the roll call.
All righty, y'all ready?
Yes.
Scott Bankhead,
Yes.
Emmanuel Hunt,
No.
Mark Carter,
Yes.
Jeff Adderholt,
Yes.
Rick Washburn,
Yes.
Jim Martin,
Yeah.
Rick
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
All right, the motion passed. Did I miss anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. Motion passes.
What was the count on that, Walt? Do you know?
That was 5-1.
Okay. Okay, the motion passes. Next item on the agenda is in-person meeting discussion. What do we need
Thanks,
to do,
Rick.
Walt?
Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and have the discussion with you. Actually, several months ago, we talked about this, and I was hoping we were going to have in-person meetings now. A couple of the other planning board members that have expressed some frustration with having Zoom meetings. And I thought it might be prudent for us to discuss this, see how we move forward. I believe if we do go to in-person meetings, we're going to have to find another venue to hold the meetings, just so we can do a little separation. But I do think it's possible that we do, if you would like to do so. At the moment, we have no applications on file for December. So I'm not sure if we're meeting in December at all, but I do expect some applications for a meeting in January.
Yeah.
So I'll just let y'all talk. Tell me what you think.
About convening in person? Is that?
Meeting in person versus continuing in meeting virtually.
Walt, have you got an idea of where we might propose to meet?
Well, what we'll try to do is meet at the Don Gibson Theater in their large reception area where we can spread out rather than at the airport.
Okay. Any questions, any comments?
No, I mean, the in-person lunches are better.
Emmanuel, did you say meetings or lunches?
In-person lunches taste better than the virtual. I'm all either way for me. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm flexible. What do y'all think? Who wants to meet in person?
I think it'd be nice to get back to meeting in person, but I'm comfortable with the Zoom as well.
Well, I guess we need to take a vote, you know? I don't, I mean, either or.
Well, let's wait just a minute, Emmanuel. I'm in favor of the in-person meeting unless something drastically changes with COVID again. But I would love to see us meet again and take measures like Walt is proposing to have a little distance. And if we do go back to the lunches, obviously may need to be some type of change there as well. And if the lunch part became too much of an inconvenience, Walt, I'd forego the lunch, and I'd still love to have the in-person meeting if that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah, I was just scared about that. That's fine with me, Rick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, you're right. Lunch is a bonus, and if we have to forego it, we'll forego it.
Right on. I got a refrigerator.
Well, I think we can work on that part outside of this meeting, but
Correct.
does anyone else have any comments about the idea of going back to in-person meetings?
Makes no difference to me, Rick, one way or the other.
Okay,
Makes no difference to me either.
okay.
Well, that's four. Let's do it. That's good with me.
Walt, what do you think?
Well, Rick, I agree. The comment you made about something drastic happening with COVID could change, but based on y'all's comments, we'll go ahead and start making preparations for an in-person meeting, and at very least reserve a space that would be suitable. And if we're able to do it, then we'll as time gets closer, we'll do it.
Okay. Was anybody totally against Walt going ahead with preparations for an in-person meeting?
I'm not.
Nope.
Greg, you're okay with it?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay either way. I'm fine.
Okay.
Let's proceed that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've heard any major opposition to it, so if you do have opposition to it, speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, Walt, well, let's I understood you to say we may or may not have a meeting in December. If we do have one in December, are you thinking that one would be in person?
If we can secure the venue, I think we can make that happen.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and try to do that today. But it is the Christmas season, and that venue gets booked up really quick.
Yep.
Well, and if that becomes a problem, I could see us doing another Zoom meeting for the month of December and maybe starting in January, having the in-person, but is
Yes,
everybody
that's a
okay?
possibility.
Is everybody okay with Walt using his judgment on that at this point and making plans for whatever can be worked out?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, Walt, that sounds like you got the majority of the support to try and make it happen in December if it's a possibility, if we have a meeting, and if not, let's go for in-person meeting starting in January.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. What else you got, Walt?
Well, I do want to point out that on Rick's behalf, he's been serving as the chairperson since Marlene's passing. And Rick has expressed that he does not want to continue as the chair. So at least in January, we're going to have it on the agenda to elect new officers like we normally do. Or at least a chair. And we just be thinking about that and how you want to handle that. And in the meantime, we're still looking for a replacement zoning board member, just in general, to replace Marlene at the same time. So if you have folks in mind, please have them contact me or the city clerk, and we can get them hooked up with the proper application or whatnot. Now, this doesn't mean they're applying for chairman. They're just applying to be on the board. Y'all elect the chairman.
Well, does it need to be a person that lives inside the city limits or the ETJ, or does it matter?
Yeah, our two ETJ spots are filled by Jeff and Bob. So it does need to be someone inside the city.
Okay.
Well, three, Emmanuel's ETJ as well. Sorry,
I'm
man.
gonna say, I'm not sure. Yeah, 3 spots.
Okay.
Also,
Hey, Walt, let me ask you a
go
question.
ahead.
Excuse me. The ETJ, I mean, I've never really understood the ETJ. I mean, I understand that back when the city would take properties, and condemn it and, and keep it in reserve or something. The specific extraterritorial jurisdiction, it is not really a part of city of Shelby proper.
So what's your question?
Well, the ETJ itself, I mean, how is it still kept separate from the city proper? Or why? Is there a reason?
In other words, Walt, I
Long
guess,
history,
is it
Emmanuel.
like
It
a-
goes back to the 50s when it was created. And the idea was where communities were going to grow in the future, they should have the ability to at least plan for the future growth outside. So there were actually 9 functions that a city was given if they chose to adopt an ETJ. It was their option to adopt an ETJ, and some communities have and some communities have not. And then in this case, the city of Shelby chose only to enforce building codes and zoning in its ETJ. And not any of the other 7 functions, which would be minimum housing, nuisance enforcement, and historic preservation, and I think a few others. It is strange throughout the city. I mean, out the state, there are many people that feel the same way you do, Emmanuel. There's no secret about that. There's been attempts to eliminate ETJs at the General Assembly, and the General Assembly has also made it more difficult to expand or establish an ETJ. The city of Shelby has chosen not to expand its ETJ for a long time, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. That's really all I can tell you about it. It's an anomaly. It has affected my own family elsewhere in the state, so I understand exactly what you're asking.
Yeah, because it restricts your voting privileges for the city as well. It's really county. It's not Shelby, but it's carrying a Shelby name.
I understand.
Yes, sir. Okay. I mean,
Playing by the rules we're given.
Yeah, I've had people ask me. That's why I'm bringing it, coming in here to ask the experts, because I really couldn't explain it that well.
If Andrea is still on the meeting, she may be able to add a little bit more than what I just did.
She's still here.
I'm still here.
Andrea?
I don't have any additional feedback on that, Mr. Hunt. I would just say that in terms of being able to provide a simple explanation for it, I think that's something that staff can work on, providing just a simple one-page something that could be user-friendly that maybe you could use to share with folks as you were talking about it. But I think Walt summarized it quite well.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, because I hate to get called cold, especially I'm the designated representative. People ask me about territorial. Some say extraterrestrial. It's territorial.
Absolutely. We'll work on that. We'll work on that on our end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Well, for the most part, is it like a 1 mile extension beyond the Shelby city limit?
Not in Shelby. So there are 3 different types of ETJs you can do. You can have a 1 mile, a 2 mile extension, or a 3 mile extension. The city of Shelby, I think in the beginning had a 1 mile extension. There are many parts of the city of Shelby that does not have an ETJ at all. And then there's other parts that have a pretty good sizable ETJ. So it varies here in Shelby.
I'd be interested to see it clarified.
Well, it's on our zoning map on the website, man. You should like to see it, but I think Andrea was right. We can put together a white paper for you that has talking points about it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
That would be good, Walt. Any other announcements?
Yeah, I'm not sure if y'all read the state budget. Good news, the city of Shelby was earmarked $2 million for the rail trail. So
Great.
hopefully that we might see some construction soon.
That's good.
I do know we've engineered a lot of it, and that might jumpstart some things and see what happens.
That's
Okay.
great.
Also, the
Interesting.
the grant we got from DOT to purchase the rail trail that was held up for technical reasons is now going to be awarded to the city with a different caveat. It's got to be just for construction and not for acquisition. So we're still reworking how we're going to finance the trail. But fortunately, we have an extra $4.1 million for construction at some point.
What will that build it?
That's for construction.
Yeah, but is that enough to build it?
Not the entire rail trail to South Carolina, no. It's enough to get a good ways, though.
Good.
Anything else?
What kind of surface is the trail gonna have? Is it gonna be asphalt or compacted stone or?
The surface within the city of Shelby in the urban area is going to be either asphalt or concrete. They're both being looked at. The goal of the entire trail is to be asphalt or concrete, probably asphalt. However, in the rural areas in the interim, depending on funding, I can very well see a natural surface like crushed concrete until funding's available to pave it.
Talking about recycled concrete?
Yes, there are several concrete recycling plants in Charlotte, and surprisingly enough, the price point of that is less than crushed stone or what you put under a road. So it is very comparable, and it works better for a trail. The concrete holds together. They kind of connect and hold together better. And then it almost ends up being a hard surface in the end. So you don't have gravel rolling out from under you.
How about the dust?
Oh,
Wet
there's very
down?
little dust. If
Okay.
you get out on the First Broad River Trail, Emmanuel, that's what we have used there, and you can see it,
Okay.
and it works very well.
I've been meaning to walk that trail. Yeah, okay.
Also, just for talk to the bridge contractor. He really hopes to have that swinging bridge completed by the end of this calendar year. We'll see, though.
Yeah. Evidently he doesn't have any supply problems.
Well, there are some supply problems, but some of that bridge is already built. So it's ongoing now. What he's putting it together.
Good. Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Alan, do you have anything?
No, I don't think we're gonna have any applications in December. They got till next week to submit. If not, hope everybody has a, happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right, we'll declare the meeting adjourned at this point.
All right. Bye now.
Okay.
Thank you.